WKRG News 5.
I knew I was struck, but I didn't feel any pain.
The Mobile police officer shot in the line of duty last week speaks exclusively to News 5. The thoughts that raced through his mind during the manhunt for the suspect.
I heard him, but I couldn't see him. I couldn't. The smoke was so bad.
A woman helpless as flames corner her stepfather. Tonight, new details about the mystery hero who ran into the burning home to save him.
And a woman with a baby in her arms steals from a Gulf Coast church. What she took and how you can help police find her.
Local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 at 5.
It is not even Thanksgiving yet, but it feels like winter in parts of the country, from snow at the White House to a surprise snowy morning in Birmingham.
Here on the Gulf Coast, break out the hot chocolate and a few blankets. We're in store for another freeze warning tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm Peter Albrecht.
And I'm Devin Walsh. Thanks for joining us. We want to get right to our forecast with meteorologist Thomas Gieboy, who's in tonight for Alan Seals.
Yeah, if you're heading out tonight, once again, reach for those extra layers. But even though tonight we do have that freeze warning for most of the News 5 area, it's going to be a little bit different compared to what we saw last night. We'll talk about that in just one sec. The system that helped move all that moisture away is now moving well to our north, and this is going to be helping to usher in dry skies that will be lasting for quite some time. Here's a look outside Pensacola International Airport. We just had the sunset, quite beautiful in the distance. Temperature in Pensacola sitting at 45 degrees, the northwest wind around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Unlike last evening, our winds are only going to be around 5 to 10 miles per hour. So those wind chills that we saw last night were already in the 30s. At this time, are only in the 40s currently, and the wind chill really not going to be too much of a factor for tonight. If you're heading out, though, grab that extra layer. Make sure that you bring inside the pets. Also cover up those sensitive plants. Once we get past sunset, temperatures will fall through the 40s, then eventually into the 30s. Overnight lows will be very close to freezing once again, which is why we have a freeze warning for most of the News 5 area. And there's also a chance we could see widespread frost tomorrow morning. We'll talk about it all coming up in your forecast in a few minutes.
And during these cold temperatures, the First Alert Storm Team is constantly updating the weather story and forecast on our free weather app. Also, on the homepage of WKRG.com. Our app is available, by the way, for Apple and Android devices. Breaking news, News 5 looking into reports of a loud boom this afternoon. Mobile Fire even responded to a call of a possible explosion, but found nothing. People have been calling our newsroom to say they heard the sound in Mobile, Grand Bay, Semmes, Daphne, and other areas. The most plausible explanation is a sonic boom from a military jet, since there are so many military installations along the Gulf Coast. There was a SpaceX rocket launch in Florida about the same time this afternoon. You can share your theory on what you think that sound was on our WKRG Facebook fan page. Now, only on News 5, a Mobile police officer shot in the line of duty opens up about the traffic stop that could have cost him his life. Mobile police officer Ben Terninsky is recovering at home. He was shot Friday after pulling over a stolen car in West Mobile.
Well, from the manhunt that followed to his worried wife at home, so many thoughts raced through his mind. And today, I had a chance to talk with him about that pulse-pounding night.
This is my x-ray. It's my right shoulder.
Corporal Ben Torninsky says his arm is just a little sore.
Up there near the shoulder joint where that white dot is where the bullet is lodged.
That's an understatement, considering there's a bullet lodged in his shoulder.
I felt it, but I didn't feel pain.
The bullet entered his tricep and traveled up his arm.
Right in the middle, in the muscle, and then it went up in just below my shoulder. Talking to the doctors and everything, said it's probably best just to leave it in there.
After being shot, Torninsky returned fire. Suspect Dejan Dubois sped off, and a manhunt to find him began.
I could hear the TV, and all of a sudden I heard, there was an officer-involved shooting.
His wife, Carmenia, started watching the news coverage.
A Mobile police officer was shot this evening in West Mobile.
Thinking it was her husband until she got the call from the captain.
It was Ben, and so my heart dropped. But thankfully, he had already confirmed that he was okay, that it wasn't life-threatening and that he's at the hospital.
Torninsky was rushed to the hospital, but was more worried about the community than himself, with a dangerous suspect on the loose.
Obviously, this person was dangerous, and I didn't want anybody else getting hurt. I think that was the the main concern I had was if I'm hurt, then I'm hurt. But if I didn't want anybody else getting hurt.
His wife felt a sense of relief when she finally saw her husband in the hospital.
He was a little pale. I could tell he was still on that adrenaline, you know, that feeling, but he was fine. Thankfully, I mean, he smiled at me, and that was probably, you know, the best thing.
The Torninskys are grateful for the support from the community.
It's been very humbling, very, very overwhelming to get all that support.
Well, Corporal Torninsky has to undergo several weeks of physical therapy because he is having trouble moving his arm up and down. I asked him whether he plans to stay in law enforcement after going through something so traumatic, and you will hear his answer tonight at 6. A giant fire destroys a home in Mobile County, but not before a mystery hero goes into the flames to rescue a man who couldn't get out.
News 5's Katerina Lukatich was the first reporter on the scene today. She brings us this incredible story from Wilmer.
The flames were massive, and they almost turned deadly.
It was completely engulfed, and I slammed it and started screaming fire.
There were 5 adults and a baby inside the home on Central Avenue. Tracy Weaver tells us everyone made it out on their own, except her stepfather, who's in his 70s. He was trapped in one of the rooms.
I heard him, but I couldn't see him. I couldn't. The smoke was so bad. And I just basically said my goodbye right there. I couldn't do it. I mean, I wanted to, but I couldn't.
But that's when a mystery man quite literally saved the day.
Pulled up and run inside and dragged him out.
We don't know who he was, but we want to tell him thank you.
As for how this all started, Tracy says she was cleaning out the fireplace and placed the ashes in a box on the front porch, not realizing some of the embers were still hot. Unfortunately, the family lost all 5 of their dogs in the fire, but all 6 people are safe, something the Weavers credit to their mystery hero. In Wilmer, Katerina Lukatich, WKRG News 5.
I'm Dana Winter. We've just learned the identity of the mystery hero, but he claims he's no hero. He says he's just a regular guy doing his job. Hear his story tonight at 6.
All of a sudden, the bus started swerving. Then it spent around like 2 times, hit the rail, and then flipped over.
New details tonight about a bus crash in winter weather in DeSoto County, Mississippi, which killed 2 and injured dozens more. A Teague VIP express bus was traveling from Huntsville to Tunica, Mississippi yesterday when it flipped on its side on I-269 near the Marshall County line. Well, today a Mississippi Department of Transportation spokesperson said it's unclear whether the southbound lanes were treated leading up to that crash. Brad Broders from our sister station in Memphis is live at the crash site. And Brad, tell us what's happening right now.
Yeah, right now it's very quiet, but Mississippi authorities are expected to do a reconstruction of this site in the coming days, along with federal investigators. Today, as more patients were released, there were also more questions.
From DeSoto Baptist in South Haven, Mississippi to Regional 1 Medical Center in Memphis, this Teague VIP Express bus picked up injured passengers and their loved ones Thursday afternoon as they're expected to head back home to Alabama later tonight. This a day after another Teague bus that was headed to the casinos in Tunica fell on its side on I-269 in DeSoto County, killing 76-year-old Betty Russell and 61-year-old Cynthia Harden, and injuring 44 others on board. At last check, more than a dozen of those passengers remain hospitalized at Memphis area hospitals. According to an MDOT spokesperson, multiple crews treated the 269 northbound lanes with salt and slag throughout the morning in the area of the crash. However, that spokesperson said it's unclear whether the southbound lanes where the bus was driving on had been treated at 12:30 in the afternoon when it went on its side. Mississippi Highway Patrol is leading the investigation into the exact cause of the deadly bus crash, but those on scene Wednesday said the winter weather likely played a factor.
Now today on the Facebook page of Teague VIP Express, an employee posted another condolence message, as that employee did yesterday on Wednesday. The American Red Cross is assisting those patients and those passengers affected in Wednesday's deadly bus crash. For now, reporting live in DeSoto County, Mississippi, I'm Brad Broders.
Thank you, Brad. New at 5, guns, drugs, and tens of thousands of dollars are now off the streets in Mobile.
That's after police raids today at Mobile Terrace off of Cody Road and 8th Road off of Ziegler. News 5's Mary Smith joins us now live at police headquarters. And Mary, several people are now in custody.
Yeah, Peter and Devin, that's right. 9 people were arrested during those raids today. 2 pounds of marijuana, several guns, and $73,000 of cash were also taken off the streets. Chief Teases says the investigation for Operation West Side spanned several months. The department wanted to arrest 14 people in that raid today. It arrested 5 of those 14 people, then 4 other unintended people in the process. Chief Teases says these missions are a critical part in controlling crime citywide.
By executing these search warrants and taking these weapons and these drugs off the street should have a significant blow to the communities that we executed these search warrants in, and certainly we hope it has an impact in our community by taking these weapons off the street, and will help make our communities much safer.
The department says it hasn't run the numbers on the guns yet to see whether or not they are stolen. They say that they're still in the process of booking those 9 people arrested today, so we do expect to learn those names of those arrested and their charges sometime this evening. And those 9 other people that they were not able to arrest today, they still are searching for those people. Live outside of police headquarters, Mary Smith, WKRG News 5.
In Fairhope right now, people are gearing up for the annual lighting of the trees ceremony. But just blocks away from the center of downtown, a church community is stunned, wondering why someone stole money from the church's donation box. News 5's Brianna Hollis joins us now live in downtown Fairhope with this story. Brianna?
Well, Peter, with that event just starting to get kicked off, your holiday spirit is on the top of mind. But like you mentioned, St. Lawrence is just a couple blocks down Section Street from the heart of downtown. So that donation theft is still top of mind over here. Now, here's a look at that surveillance video of the woman police say took the money from the donation box yesterday. You can see her walking through part of the church with a baby. Now, people who work at St. Lawrence, they're frustrated, they're sad about this, but at the same time, they also have sympathy for this suspect.
Honestly, I feel for the person who did that. You know, you've got to be in a rough place to do that. It's not a good thing, but it's just a reminder that if you need help, reach out and ask for it.
Now, again, if you do recognize this woman, you're asked to call the detective on the case, and we have their direct phone number on our website, WKRG.com. Meanwhile, back out here downtown, more and more people are walking down to the heart of the area here for the lighting of the trees. And when I catch up with you guys in a few minutes, we'll talk a little bit more about the event itself. For now, reporting live in Fairhope, Brianna Hollis, WKRG News 5.
Thanks, Brianna. Breaking election news. Florida's Secretary of State has ordered a manual recount of U.S. Senate race between Rick Scott and Bill Nelson. The returns from the machine recount triggered this second one. The latest count shows Scott leading by about 12,000 votes.
Coming up on News 5 at 5 o'clock, ready or not, the Gulf Coast already has Christmas on its mind. We're going to take you to the annual Christmas tree lighting in the heart of Fairhope.
And we get freezing temperatures once again tonight, but the weekend is looking pretty nice. Your forecast is coming up on News 5.
But next, could this mean be connected to more than 90 murders across the country? One police department says yes. You're watching News 5 at 5, local coverage you can count on.